Welcome, everybody, to the That Kind of Nerd podcast. I am CJ Mellon.
I am Brian Thornton.
And I am Josh Burns.
Welcome to our show. Welcome to episode number 9. Today we discuss the newly announced Video Game Hall of Fame. 6 games entered, and Josh hates 2 of them. Brian helps us understand why Marvel's plans to take over Netflix should get everyone excited, and Josh needs our help for a campaign that's very close to his heart. I finally get some therapy about watching The Sopranos, and Brian catches up on his streaming adventures of Entourage, and Josh needs some advice, and he has to talk about his experience with Parks and Recreation. Finally, Josh gives us some sage advice about why online shopping isn't just about being a nerd, it's about taking back your time and finding a balance within your life. So, we hope you enjoy the show. Be sure to leave us a comment or to call our podcast line at 484-373-4119. Without further ado, here we go. Before we get into the meat of the show, I just want to take a quick moment and I want to say some things. Number one is I want to thank all the fans who have been listening to our show, giving us reviews on iTunes, hitting us up on Twitter, and just kind of shooting us some text messages for all our friends who know us with some feedback on the show. I think it's utterly phenomenal. I can't thank you enough. It is a dream come true to do 9 episodes with each gentleman, and I'm so excited to do more. But I need a little help, and I think we do too as a team. We're looking around on the content that's available, and we're talking to you, the friends, that what do you want to see on the site? And we want to be a hub for you, and we want to be a place where you can come to not only see cool things in tech, but share your thoughts and share your ideas of what's happening around nerd culture. So we want to know if anybody's interested in joining our team. We're looking for writers. Right now, we're not looking for anyone to jump on the podcast with us, but you could always be a guest host. So if you're interested in the gig, I want you to email tkon@thatkindofnerd.com. That is tkon@thatkindofnerd.com. Or go to our website, click the About Us, and fill out the information provided there. Thanks for listening to our show, and let's dive into it. So there's something cool that happened that I didn't know actually existed until it blew up my RSS feed. And that's apparently there's a Video Game Hall of Fame. And I don't mean like the world records for scores and things like that, because I know that exists thanks to the documentary A Fistful of Quarters. But I didn't know that this was a thing, and they inducted 6 games into the Hall of Fame. Some of these I agree with, some of these I don't. So I kind of wanted to...
I got big problems with this list.
Well, it starts out really in the purest intentions. It starts out with probably the first thing you should think of, and that's Pong.
Boo.
Really?
Boo.
Come on.
It's literally the gateway into video gaming. It was a line and another line throwing a line at it.
Remember when Forrest Gump first started playing table tennis and he had folded up to one side of the table and was slowly hitting the ball back to himself? That's Pong.
That's actually Brick Breaker.
You're Brick Breaker.
It is Brick Breaker. And he got very fast at that, too. He wasn't very slow. How can you
Whatever,
say no to
dude.
Pong?
Because it sucks.
Yes. Okay, listen. By today's standard, Pong is not a game that you would be like, yeah, I'm playing for hours. But that opened video gaming up.
Pong bored me when I was 5.
No, it's literally meant to entertain a 5-year-old.
Speechless.
I don't understand.
It didn't entertain me at all.
Without speech.
It's 1972. It's so classic.
I said
it made the
enough
Atari.
enough of this
It
Atari.
made games. They even put it
Teach
on
me-
PlayStation.
Teach me how to play chess instead. And that's what I did.
Jeez. Pawn? Out of all the games I thought we were going to spend the most time on, Pawn is the one I had to argue with you about?
No. You know what? In fairness, boo. Still boo.
God damn it. He got me. Brian, do you have any feelings about Pawn that I need to yell at you
I'm
for?
okay with Pong. No, you don't have to yell at me. I completely respect Pong for what it's done. I played it when I was a kid, and many variations of it on my phone and stuff. But it's not like, oh my god, have you seen Pong? You need to check it out. But it's a worthy entry into the Hall of Fame of video games.
I agree with you too, Brian. And Josh, you can say boo, but all right, whatever. Pawn. I can't believe that was the hotbed for that.
Really? That's the
Alright,
hot
next
button
is-
issue this time. Pong.
Dividing the world, Pong. We're having the fights that House Mothers had in 1972 all over again.
I prefer Cubert. Can we do Cubert instead of
Well,
Pong?
so I don't think Hubert's on the list, but
Hubert's not
It's
on the
not.
list.
That's what I'm saying.
all right. But you know what is Pac-Man, which if you follow the legend of Scott Pilgrim was initially going to be called Puck-Man, but then they decided to call it Pac-Man because they figured that people would vandalize the booth and change it into, you know,
P
Change
into
it to what?
P into
Change
an
it to
F.
what?
they would change it to the P to an F, and it would be called Fook-Man.
Pac-Man?
Yeah, that's it.
right.
I read an article. I was telling Josh about this before we started doing the show. Someone was like, "I disagree about Pac-Man. I believe Miss Pac-Man is the preferred."
Miss
game
Pac-Man
that
is
should be
Pac-Man
known.
with a bow.
Was it
well,
the comic book guy from The Simpsons that called in and did that?
Worst video game
Pac-Man
ever.
ever. We did not just do that together. It's not right.
Did we do that together? I missed
We
it.
just
Yeah,
did that
it was-
together.
Yeah, it was pretty.
It's
rough.
we're getting adorable, CJ.
But I mean, like, I can't believe. So then after that, I'm still stuck on Pong. Really?
Yeah, dude. I just
Move
look.
past it.
I just
No,
it
don't
doesn't
just
make
don't
sense.
defend yourself. I want to move on. I don't want to open that can of worms.
I think Pac-Man. I think Pac-Man's a perfectly good pick. It's not. My, I don't like it, but it's a good pick.
Would you say that's the video game that made video game a
Yes.
household item?
Yeah, because people weren't playing Pong in the arcade for hours and hours and hours just to put, ASS in the initials for high
Are
school.
you kidding me? That's what I love. The kill screen's pretty cool. A fun fact for all the listeners out there: if you're not listening to headphones, if you put your index finger into your ear and move it up and down real quick, that is the sound that Pac-Man makes.
What?
You've never done that?
Listen,
Just
you take off your headphones right now. Just quickly go ahead and do it. It's the sound that Pac-Man makes.
No, my ears are incredibly clean. They won't make any noise.
And you also have very tiny ears. I forgot about that. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bring that up. Should I edit that out? I'm very sorry.
oh god. He's sensitive about his ears, CJ. God damn it. Why would you bring that up?
I don't know. I'm so sorry.
We lost Josh on the podcast. He's crying in the corner right now.
So
a
hey,
bottle of
remember when
whatever
I
he's
said there were no
drinking.
openings? Remember when I said there were no openings for the podcast? Well, Josh has now gone fetal, so if anyone wants in, you're welcome to come aboard.
I told him not to bring up my ears.
God damn it, CJ, read the show notes. All right, the next one is the classic. I mean, Super Mario Brothers, the first one on NES. Yes,
Yes.
there's no dispute
Yes.
that this game belongs in the Video Game Hall of Fame.
It is still
I actually-
the greatest game ever made.
I
I
just
just
played
played it last week. Yep,
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
it's so.
Oh my
good,
god, were we
and-
all playing together? And
I
just
think
didn't
we were,
realize
maybe.
it? Because I think I played it last week too.
And you know what? I'll say I actually enjoyed the Wii version of it, where you could play with 2 players.
The new
Yep.
Super Mario Brothers.
Yes, the new
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers, really
Pretty sweet.
good. And I'll say that this is a video game that my wife consistently kicks my ass in. She gets further than I do with losing less lives, and somehow manages to get the flag on the pole every single time.
I'm revoking one man card.
So
Fine, I won't
as-
even bring up her performance in Super Mario Brothers 3, which
Ooh.
is
Don't.
better than all of you.
So as the younger
No.
brother, I never got to be Mario. I was always Luigi. So I feel your pain.
Oh,
Because I would just sit there for hours watching my brother get to like go through the warp tunnel in level 2 and then get to level 6 and then like wait for him to die somewhere there. And then I was like asleep. And then I would get to be Luigi and I'm like 3 years younger than him. So I would die in like the first level. And then he'd go back to playing for like an hour and a half. It was fun. Yeah.
It's the game that taught me that every game's water level is evil. It
Yes.
started with Mario.
Oh, the water level's
The
terrible.
water levels are like, well, there goes an afternoon, and now I have a blister.
Well, you can skip over the water level now. If you do the warp
Nintendo
pipe.
thumb.
yeah. Listen, if you do the warp pipe, yeah, but like, if you're gonna like go for it, don't you just want to?
Oh,
go for it?
CJ's a purist.
No.
bro.
He's
a
no.
purist.
Listen, I
Listen,
get to the
listen.
level 1, I go down there, I go into the dungeon part, I hit the top, and I go as far as I
Yeah,
can.
bro.
I
1, 2.
tried to
1,
be-
2, and I'm gone.
Yep. I tried to be a purist once, and I hated every minute of my life while I did it. So
But when
never
but when you-
again.
when you first played it as a kid, and Brian, I'm the third of 4. I'm one of the last people to get information about a video game. I get the video game after my brothers have mastered it, and they beat it so quickly, and now it's my turn to play it with my little brother, and there I am struggling to get through everything, and then I'm like
And they're like, give me the
15,
controller, I'll do it for
I'm
you.
15, and they're just like, hey, by the
What-
way, did you ever know the warp right up here? That's how we beat it so quick. And I'm like, you
when
son
I
of a
first played it
bitch.
as a kid, I was 8 and I had Nintendo Power and I read and I just did what it told me to do.
Touche, sir.
I never did.
All right.
I never did the Nintendo Power as a guidance tool.
Yeah.
What?
I
Always,
That was kind of the point of Nintendo Power.
no, I used to.
wasn't
I
it?
used to read the. This so. Are you? I did
See,
it for the
oh,
articles.
You read it for the
I
articles,
did. I
not
read
for
it
the
for
pictures.
articles.
Oh, God.
I wasn't there for the cheats. The centerfold
No, I
is the
always
map of
was-
Mario.
I was there for the centerfold, brother.
I always was of the mind that I would try to beat it on my own once, no matter what it was, and then I would use the magazine or the strategy guide or whatever it was. Then I'd go back and replay it and do all the cheats and complete it 100%. But I wanted to play it once on my own.
Let me take advantage of everything there is, all the tools that I have at my disposal. Let me beat it, and then I'll go back and I'll play it.
Have you ever really beaten Mario? Have you ever
Yeah.
gotten all the way to the end?
Yeah.
Have you done it in? How long does it take you?
What, using warps or not using warps?
Using warps. Hell yeah! What's the fastest you ever completed?
I can
Mario?
beat it. I can beat it in like an hour using warps.
Did you see the run through of this where someone like did it in the most
Someone did it in,
ridiculous
like, a
time
half
with the
hour. It's
lowest
like-
score
No,
possible?
I can't do it. I can't do
Like
it. They
32
did like
minutes.
it was like 20. Was it 32? I thought it was like 29.
Yeah, but then
Good,
was
32.
that the
something
one where
really
they did the
ridiculous
lowest
like
score
that.
possible? It was the fastest
takes-
and lowest score possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes me like an hour
Nah, I can't.
of
can't
like
do that.
serious concentration and
It's so
breaking at
good.
least one control.
And
Standby controllers are in a bin.
Right.
For every time Toad says your princess is in another castle, you just snap it in half and throw it away.
Right.
damn it, Toad! How the hell are you here and she's not?
Toad
Right,
keeps
would
on
you
moving.
just find her and bring her to me?
Yeah,
You
listen.
find. I'll stay here. You find her.
It's always
Did
like
you
the same
see-
Toad. He just
I
keeps on
know.
getting captured.
I think it
Toad
is
is
the
an
same Toad.
asshole.
He is an asshole. Did you see the someone made basically I think it's a Java layover that you put this window on front of your web browser and whatever is showing on the web browser it analyzes it and makes it a
I
level
did
of
see
Mario.
Yeah. You sent that.
I
to
did
me,
send
and
that. I sent it to a bunch of people.
It looks fantastic. It looks fun.
You
It
didn't
looks
send it to
way.
me?
Yeah, it was in the chat probably in a group
really?
chat that you
I have to double
just probably
check
didn't
it.
pay
Hey,
attention. to.
I did have another question.
Go ahead.
Was there a game after Mario
Oh, yeah,
Brothers
I'm
on
so
this
sorry.
list?
Yes.
We only went through 3 of the list. There's 6
Well,
games on here.
what is Tetris? It was Tetris.
I love Tetris.
Yeah. How can you not?
I love the backstory of Tetris. That's my favorite part. Is that it was developed in Russia about math.
a bunch of blocks got together and conspired to overthrow the government.
It is the Cold War. Go over to America. Forget the
Here's
teacher
the
not
thing:
to play.
when a video game that launched in 1987 inspires modern club music, you know it's good.
Tetris is also the reason why I get like anal when I'm packing shit, like in my trunk
Oh,
or
yes.
in my suitcase. When I'm like actually, if I'm ever going on vacation, because that so rarely happens, when I'm actually packing stuff, I'm playing the Tetris music in my head. It's pretty ridiculous.
Brian never has well folded clothing because they're in different
They're
shapes
in, like,
so that everything fits
L
together.
shapes and stuff.
It's like, you know what? My tuxedo was nice, but I decided to fold it into this to a long. I needed a long line. I needed one long
needed to
line.
complete the
So
row.
I just rolled my whole tuxedo up. It's one line.
I took a pair of jeans, I rolled them up, I put the socks in where the feet holes would be so it'll stick out. And then I put my t-shirt in a square and then I put it into the suitcase and that's how I pack.
How did you
Yeah,
guys
so
know?
awful.
God.
I just know.
That's
I
just
know
like
you.
every time in retail when we've had to take something out to somebody's car and they pull out the smallest car freaking possible. Here's
You're
a
like, I
Fiat.
can
Now I'm
make
gonna put
it
a
fit.
52
I
inch
can make
in.
it
Like,
fit.
no, I got it. I played Tetris.
I played Tetris.
That's like
I got this.
that's the nerd way to say I have a degree in moving your shit. So I thought that was right on. The next one, and this is cool. There was kind of a big leap because Tetris was about 1984, and then the next one that goes in is Doom from 1993.
Don't you like when you see this? Don't you wish it was Duke Nukem and
No,
not
I wish it
Doom?
was Doom 2. Doom 2 was a far superior game to
Listen,
Doom 1.
It's not about the quality of the game. It's about what it did for the gaming industry. Doom is what started the huge first person shooter craze. It's why you have Duke Nukem and Call of Duty and Halo. Without Doom, none of that shit exists. So yeah,
Was Doom first? I thought Duke Nukem was
No,
first.
I'm pretty
No,
sure
it's
Doom
Doom
was first. Doom's first.
There's someone now who's fact checking us, going, "No, Josh
They're
is right. You guys are
googling
idiots."
and or
Yeah, then I retract my previous statement. If Doom was first, then it's first.
And I could Google it right now, but I won't.
But you're absolutely right when it comes to what it did for the gaming industry. We wouldn't have any of these 13-year-olds in their parents' basement cursing at you, Brian, if it weren't for Doom.
I curse at them first of all.
Okay,
Second of all,
probably
You're playing around.
let's run it back. You're
well, listen,
the
I only
adult.
curse
Let's
at them.
have you be the bigger person.
Listen, I only curse at them when they start saying things about my mom, so I get a little defensive.
Why don't you just not have your headset on? Couldn't you play without that?
I can.
Yeah,
I
but then
really
you don't hear the 13-year-olds and call them noobs. You can't do that.
I don't think the creators of Doom wanted you to curse at 13-year-olds, Brian.
Honestly, in all honesty,
have you
really
been to
don't
id Software?
do that.
Can you prove that? Can you prove otherwise?
I can't. No, I can't prove otherwise.
I don't
no.
even to be honest with you, I don't even really play Call of Duty online very often to curse at 12-year-olds too much. So.
I also think if we're going to acknowledge the things that Doom opened the gates to, like 13-year-old boys cursing, and also launched the Dwayne Please Don't Call Me the Rock Johnson movie.
Dude,
That's a
I
good
didn't
movie.
hate that movie.
No,
I didn't hate it.
See, that's all you can say was I didn't hate it. You didn't like it, but you didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it the same way I didn't hate I Am Legend.
Listen, in the grand scheme of movies based on video games, Doom is actually pretty good. I could refer you to horrible movies like House of the Dead and Resident Evil 6, even because the first 4 were actually pretty decent.
No.
They're
Veto
awful.
based on the involvement of Mila Jovovich.
My point is it's awful. My point is Doom is actually good.
Does Resident Evil star Mila Jovovich?
Yeah, but the 5th one, listen,
amazing.
I love the first 4.
Amazing.
I love the first 4. That last one is awful.
Hey,
it's
Josh,
awful.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Is there another game on this list?
There may be, but I have to say this: Doom was probably, and this style of game was probably the last type of shooter that I could actually play because you can't do anything but move forward, and all of the modern games, I'm so bad that not only do I get lost in the maps, can't run while aiming, I'm actually just in a corner with my head on my rifle spinning in a circle.
Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please
That's
don't
it.
kill me.
I can't do it unless if you have just if your team has the need for just a sniper who just sits in a crow's nest, I can do that. But I can't run and shoot. I can't find my way into or out of situations. I'm no good. Doom was probably the last time I could play.
Right.
Please, CJ, if you'd like to move on, I'm game.
Well, I do want to say one thing before I do, and that
Josh
is
is not invited to my lobby.
Ban Josh's gamer tag.
Yeah.
I will say, Doom made such an impression on me. I actually still remember the cheat codes by heart, like IDDQD and IDKFA, which gave you God mode, and it gave you unlimited ammo, and there was IDCLIP, which let you walk through the walls because it was developed by id Software, ID. Left a big impression on me. Here's the one that I disagree with the most. This is my Pong. World of Warcraft.
Wait, no. Warcraft was amazing. What,
Nah.
Warcraft
you mean like
is
Warcraft,
amazing.
like Warcraft 3, like the Frozen
No,
Throne?
like World
of Warcraft. The
Like the
MMO.
The thing
MMO.
where people just talk to each other and then nothing really happens?
The MMORPG.
No. F that S.
The thing that taught us to actually not be social and
No.
put probably the worst
No.
stigma on gaming and nerds in a decade.
No.
Listen.
no.
I wouldn't go that far. I
You
don't think
kidding me?
I don't think it's damaged nerdum at all.
Here's the thing. I think if Jeff were on this podcast, he would disagree wholeheartedly. But I don't consider this a game. I don't think it's a game because it never friggin' ends. You just go.
It's kind of like Monopoly.
No, Monopoly ends. You know when it ends? When I have all your shit.
I thought when I flip the table, I say, "Fuck it, it's over. You win." Okay, are you happy? It's 3 in the morning.
That's how every game someone plays against me. That's how it ends.
You got
They
pink
end up
50s, Grandma. Where are you getting the pink 50s?
Laura, take it all, Grandma.
Thanks, Tank Cook.
Laura just throws stuff at me, and then tells me that I'm cheating because she made bad business deals.
For the record, I hate Monopoly. If we're going to talk about board games now,
Only Josh
Right,
Burns
game
and
night.
Milton Bradley love Monopoly because
I
it
do
involves
love
money and manipulating people.
Love
my
Monopoly.
my best friend Melissa fucking loves Monopoly. Like,
I want to get Jeremy Piven over here. Me, Jeremy Piven, Melissa, Brian, CJ. We're all gonna
Mark
play Monopoly.
Wahlberg, don't you owe Mark Wahlberg like $40
I
for
think
just
Mark
coming in?
Wahlberg probably doesn't like Monopoly because not everyone can have a good time.
So what's interesting about this 6 is I think some of the games that are missing. And for me, I know I have a game that's missing, and that's Pokemon. I thought that really would have made the list. That it absorbed the United States and Japan, and it launched 18 million spin-off games, including N64 and other consoles. It's the reason I bought a Game Boy. Everyone bought a transfer cable. Does anyone know what the transfer cable was on a Game Boy? What kind of USB port it was? No, but you bought it because it was proprietary and it was amazing. So I'm actually a little shocked that that Pokemon's missing from the list. Brian, did you have a game that you thought was odd that it was missing?
I mean, maybe not in this first round because I kind of see why everything's on there. I have a couple games that are close, near and dear to me that did things for me in my gaming my gaming life. Chrono Trigger and maybe even like Final Fantasy 3 would probably be a couple of those. Somewhere in the Final Fantasy series, I thought something should be on there eventually. I don't think it needed to be in this round, but maybe down the road. Because that series kind of just defined RPGs for everything, not just for the eventual evolution of MMORPGs, but just the type of gaming style that RPGs kind of lend themselves to.
Yet another game I've never played.
That's okay.
So it's since you're taking Pong off the list, Josh, what game would you substitute in its place?
Madden NFL, the first EA Sports game.
That was a huge. You know what, Brian? You want to talk about opening a franchise to online gaming? That's a game that did it.
No, I can see
Brian,
it.
EA Sports sells more video games annually than any other producer.
Well, I mean, I believe it because they freaking sell every game
FIFA.
for every sport every year.
Because they're amazing. Because they sell Madden, FIFA, NBA Live,
NCAA, NHL, everything.
If you look at the worldwide sales, it's FIFA that's doing that kind of bolstering. If you took FIFA out of there,
FIFA is an amazing game, but the thing that launched it all for EA Sports was Madden NFL. I was 12 or 13 when it came out. I fell in love immediately. They released NCAA basketball in 94 the following year. Madden 94 was amazing. NHL 94 is still one of my favorite games of all time. But Madden NFL was the game that launched it all. And the fact that video game sports is a huge, huge part of the gaming industry. And the fact they're not represented here in any way, I think is insane.
Wait, are you talking about
absolutely insane?
Never mind. I understood what you mean.
I think it would be good for like a second batch. I don't have a whole lot of experience.
Oh, not good enough for the first batch.
NBA Jam isn't on the list. I'm a little disappointed about that.
I'm not, but NBA Jam was more of an arcade game.
Yeah. I just remember being in Pizza Hut waiting for my pizza and playing that.
I'm gonna say this. I would knock Pong off the list only because who cares? And
everybody else.
Nope. And World of Warcraft because who cares?
Jeff Thomas.
Yeah, Jeff Thomas. Right. And
there's plenty of people who subscribe to WoW who care. So
I would put Madden NFL and I would put Street Fighter.
Oh,
Street Fighter 2.
Yes.
Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Gotta be 2 Turbo. Yes.
And I would put Street Fighter 2 Turbo and I would put Madden NFL because those two games launched two industries of gaming.
That's true. None of these are really, I mean, with probably the exception of Pac-Man and Tetris, none of these were really like go to an arcade and put quarters in and play. I said 2 out of 6. Never mind. It's a damn good ratio.
Nobody's standing in line. There's nobody at a birthday party just clamoring to get at the controller. There's nobody at, you had all your boys over for a sleepover when you were 10 and everybody's fighting and there's a tournament. There's none of that with any game that isn't, Madden NFL or Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
So every game that I see on this list was basically, and this is, I agree with Brian, this is why this is probably batch one, because I also think there's some other games that need to be on there. But this is games that have kind of shaped sections of the industry and made part of it exist without it. Because I think Pong brought video games to everybody, regardless of Josh's feelings about it. That was the game that was the gateway game. Then afterwards, it was go to the arcade and go play Pac-Man. And then it came home, on Atari, and it came home on Nintendo. And then Super Mario Brothers. I don't think any household in America didn't own an original NES that had Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, and brought gaming home to everybody, and it was inexpensive. Yep. I mean, Tetris, just like you said, Josh. Not only is it just shaping music, but I mean that game put in intellect, put in math. It was time, during a really interesting time with America and Russia, and here we are playing a Russian game.
It gave people with OCD something to do.
So true. Doom made first-person shooters and made Josh feel great at playing them.
Because otherwise I suck.
10 years later, Josh would suck at them.
Listen, the World of Warcraft, we have. All right, I'm going to take off my comedy facade for a second. I mean, that game made MMOs.
It did. It started the craze.
There's nothing that's better personifies MMOs than WoW.
Yeah, it's the longest running MMO.
Would the world be better off without this entire genre of gaming?
No.
What, the MMOs?
Probably. Yeah, get rid of them.
I don't know. Old Republic was pretty cool.
All of it. Just get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Would the world be more socialized? Would people be out
I'm gonna
of their...
I'm going to disagree with that, only because I have a friend who was a huge WoWer when it first came out, and he connected with people that were out of the country and out of state, and now they're at his wedding. I mean, they
there
bonded
have been
phenomenally
people
well.
locked up for neglecting their children for this game.
Well, yeah,
but I mean,
listen, that's your extreme. I mean,
yes, it's the absolute worst of humanity.
Well, can't we say that after Doom, someone went on a shooting spree? I mean, that's the kind of correlation you want to draw. I mean,
no, I'm not. No. They didn't go on a shooting spree because of the game. They were already crazy. People ignore their children to play World of Warcraft. They lock them up in basements and garages, and they sit in their room and they play World of Warcraft. It's not okay.
I'm so sorry. I was playing Tetris on my iPad. I just missed everything you just said. What was that?
I didn't say.
I mean, by that logic, though, I mean,
no, I get what he's saying.
I get what you're saying. I do.
Yeah,
I'm saying people make choices to play the game. The parallel you're drawing to Duke Nukem is Eminem influences children in a bad way. That's not what I'm saying.
Right? Yeah, no, I get you.
Right? I'm saying people make a choice, a conscious choice to ignore their children to play the game. Not the game influences them in a certain way.
Right.
Bad choices, bad game.
I will say this though. I wouldn't want to get rid of them MMOs entirely, otherwise I would lose Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, and I'm not willing to do that.
Jeff, I still love you.
So here's an idea, and I'd love to hear some round two picks, from us sometime. I think that's maybe a segment I'd love to do of like our 10 top games.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I know that I know someone out there is in my head right now and says, "Where the hell is Zelda: Ocarina of Time?"
Where is Zelda in general? Like that's the only game that I was like, dude, don't. No, Zelda, the first Zelda on NES belongs on that list.
We just went through why each game was on there, and I think Super Mario Brothers brought gaming into the mainstream places, and then made people play other games. It was the gateway for the NES. And I don't think you would have gotten Zelda if it wasn't the success of Super Mario Brothers. So this sixth list is just about getting the influences.
Fine, CJ, you're right.
Great perspective,
you're right,
CJ. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Relish the moment, CJ. You're right.
So anyway, so the next article, the next thing I want to talk about is I came across a really cool thing on BGR, this Boy Genius report, that talked a little bit about Marvel's master plan to rule Netflix. And basically, it's another phase 2 for Marvel, but about TV. So, Brian, could you set the stage a bit for us? Can you kind of put what the heck this phase 2 term is? This is the second time we've thrown it out with Marvel. What does phase 2 mean in the scope of the Marvel world?
Well, when it comes to the Marvel cinematic and television universes, they like to kind of ramp up into phases. I mean, for example, the Marvel movies had Phase One, which consisted of Iron Man 2, Hulk, Captain America, Thor, and it culminated with Avengers. Like everything kind of built to one defining moment. Um, Whereas now with Phase Two, everything kind of built to Avengers 2. I think they're going to do the same thing with their Netflix shows, as far as I'm reading. So what I can see is you have your Phase One, which will be over the next few years. You'll see, we already saw Daredevil and how amazing that was. They're working on Jessica Jones right now, and you'll have Iron Fist and you'll have Luke Cage, and that will culminate in a Defenders show. And then I think they're talking about their Phase Two and what's going to happen after that.
So I mean, and I took it a different way. And Josh, let me know if you think this is the right perspective. Phase two is probably the most successful part of Marvel's cinematic universe.
Every time Brian and Jeff talk about the phases, I actually go into some sort of shock where I can't hear words.
Shoe shopping.
So right, I don't. They're all a bunch of movies, and I love them, but I don't understand the phases.
Well, it's
how,
the phase of Disney going, listen, this is group one, right? I mean, you just replace it with the word group.
Great, but Brian just said a bunch of words about shows on Netflix.
Okay.
And I'm reading the article as we speak, and the article says Phase 2, but it doesn't say when Phase 1 ends and when Phase 2 begins, and I just don't get it.
So let me put this article in context for our listeners. According to Umberto Gonzalez at Historic Hollywood, he apparently had some inside off the cuff remarks, a lot of off the records that he decided to go for about Marvel's TV plan, and apparently the people on the Marvel side of TV are getting kind of pushed out by Disney. They're being thought as an afterthought, and they're not being treated with the proper respect that they believe that they should receive. Kind of like we think that DC is doing a great job on television, and Marvel is tying in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter together, but they don't have a whole lot going television wise until Daredevil came out. And
but it's not television though.
Well, no, and I mean, and that's the kind of thing though. It's not the big screen, so I think that it's still by the television developing market.
So yeah,
no,
right. But you got big screen. You got small screen, right? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I think Netflix is a notch above that. It's not big screen. It's not TV, right? Netflix, I think, because I think it's just everybody binge watches it, and it hugely successful Daredevil. But I don't get. Brian, can you help me in 15 seconds? Can you tell me who the hell Jessica Jones is?
In 15 seconds, this is gonna be tough. Okay, Jessica Jones is almost a superhero. She forever ago was a part of the Avengers, and she retires for a while. She kind of lays low, and she really kind of becomes more of a backdrop, whereas she starts writing for some newspapers and the Daily Bugle and stuff like that. And she kind of got her second life in a series called Alias, written by Brian Michael Bendis. Has nothing to do with the television show by J.J. Abrams starring Jennifer Garner. And she kind of gets thrown back into the superhero world and has to deal with some it was one of the first comic books that had to deal with like real issues that strong women especially have to deal with in this kind of world.
It sounds like something I want to watch. I mean, especially if they're casting Kristen Ritter. But is she like the American Black Widow? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, she's more. I would say she's more of a superhero-y type. Where I consider Black Widow more of the spy, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. type of a character. She's like kind of the almost. I don't want to say Supergirl. She's a lot more stronger and more well-grounded. But she's more of a quote unquote superhero when it comes to that. Now, if we were looking at the casting there, I feel the need to warn you that her main villain is being played by David Tennant in the show.
Nice.
Yes, it's gonna be awesome.
Captain Pissy Pants is a villain.
He's gonna be the Purple Man, which is a fantastic choice, honestly, and a fantastic villain. If anybody who is looking to read a comic book that doesn't really deal with the big beat 'em up, throw 'em around, Captain America, let's go get the aliens thing, and you are interested in something that's like a little bit more grounded, a little bit more real, I highly recommend Alias. It's about 4 trade paperbacks, maybe 20 issues tops. It's a fantastic series.
So what phase no, I'm not going to say it anymore. What Marvel did with their movie series was take those individual things and start tying them together and started having the more collective universe, hence why we have Avengers, Avengers 2. That's why we have some of these things coming together. So Josh, to your point, yes, Netflix isn't necessarily quote TV. It's not what I would say, hey, I watch this on TV. I watch this on Netflix. It's a separate par. I think it's right below movies. But I think what is happening is this, and there seems to be a shift in Marvel Studios thinking of, since it's right below movies, that's where we should be. So let's stop focusing on, actual ABC. Let's stop focusing on making content for that. Let's go to Netflix because we get fantastic success out of Daredevil. I mean, when we all saw it, right, we're all like, that's going to be great. But I don't think we really understood how awesome it was until we saw it. Everyone came in with great expectations and then had it blown away.
Yep.
I mean, it was just so good that I think that now this is their focus is no more. I don't think we're going to see a ton of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter anymore. I think just like Brian said, we're going to see Jessica Jones go to Netflix. We're going to see Iron Fist. We're going to see the Defenders. But I think maybe we'll get some of these movie people tying into this as well.
Here's the thing that I found really exciting about that specific article and just in general of the things I'm reading about the universe. So kind of like the way the Marvel Cinematic Universe had Nick Fury kind of trickled all the way throughout, really kind of connecting them all up until the big event. You're going to have a very similar scenario with Rosario Dawson's character from Daredevil. She's the night nurse, and her
night nurse,
her role is to kind of like help these more urban street level heroes, and she's going to start showing up in like Iron Fist and Luke Cage and stuff like that. So that's going to be cool. What also got me really excited is that they are looking into developing series after they're done with these initial 4 or 5 of doing the Punisher and Ghost Rider, 2 characters who were not given justice on the screen, who I think lend so much better to a 13 episode story arc. Yes, I see your shirt, Josh. It's fantastic.
For those playing the home games, since we're an audio podcast, Josh is wearing a Punisher shirt.
He's wearing a Punisher shirt that has the many faces of Punisher, and they're all the same skull. It's fantastic. But yeah, I mean, and Blade, like as much as I do enjoy the Blade movies, especially the first one, I feel like the Netflix platform lends so much better to these characters. I don't think you can do them justice in a 2-hour movie, but a 13 episode Netflix show, it's going to be amazing. I really hope that goes.
I was just saying that. I was just saying that to Brian.
Yeah. No, and according to Gonzalez though, those are not going to be they're not going to be full-fledged shows. According to him, they're going to be like guest appearances, and they're going to be coming throughout.
I'm telling you right now,
that's not how I'm reading it. I'm reading it. It says other characters under consideration, and that means to me consideration for a show. The great thing is this: Ghost Rider, we haven't seen done well because it was Nick Cage, and that was just poor.
He's scratching at the door.
Oh my! I remember.
Do you remember that?
I remember you were
at the door.
You were so opposed to that whole.
And I love Nick Cage.
I know. But look,
sorry.
The thing about I told Brian if I wanted to see any 2 characters, it would be Punisher and Ghost Rider. I love those 2 characters because, like some others we've seen, they are very sort of amoral and they just do what they need to do, and they are very closely tied to Daredevil. There's a lot of crossover. And there's a lot of stuff that can be done. I still, reading this article, and, it was written by Jacob Siegel for Boy Genius Report. I don't understand what he's talking about with Phase 2 because it's very murky. Phase 2 says the second season of Daredevil is going to be in Phase 2, but that's not that far away. So they're not going to build that much before Phase 2.
I think you're getting wrapped up into Phase 2. I think he's using it as the term to say this is. While Marvel put a lot of thought into Daredevil, I don't think they saw it as the huge. I don't think anyone anticipated it to be this big. They thought it'd be big. I didn't think they'd be this big. And
can I make a petition that we can see Aaron Paul as Ghost Rider?
I'm sure you could.
I want to. Can we do that? Can we officially request Aaron Paul as Ghost Rider?
Sure. I'd be okay with that.
I think he'd make a good Ghost Rider.
Hold on. I'll leave that up to the listeners. If we can go ahead and get some tweets and we can get some people to comment in on it, I will start an official, honest to God petition for you, Josh, and I will help you get the signatures that are necessary.
Aaron Paul, Ghost Rider.
Here's the thing, though. Even if they are just thinking, oh, we'll just introduce them or have cameos of the Punisher or whatnot.
Because Elektra's on that list too.
Listen, Elektra she is a huge supporting character in the Daredevil series, and you use season 2 to focus around her and spin her off into her own show. That is Elektra.
And this goes well. Hold on, before you just saying this is Elektra, this goes back to the conversation that Josh and I had the other week, where we want to see some strong female people into this, and now we'll have 2 coming into this Netflix
Jessica
series.
Jones and Elektra.
You couldn't get
choose
stronger.
2 better ones.
And honestly, if they go forward with the female Captain Marvel in the Captain Marvel movie, that's another huge win for that category.
And I did read something about that. It's cool.
Carol Danvers is another strong female character in the Marvel universe. My point is that they're going to introduce these characters, and people like me are going to be like, oh my God, I need an entire series of Punisher. That guy as Punisher, or Aaron Paul as Ghost Rider, I need a whole show of that. It's going to happen. I guarantee you.
And this was cool because I thought the way that they handled Daredevil was phenomenal. And I think it also turned a lot of people onto this character that otherwise wouldn't have been interested in it. Just like Brian explains in the Comic 101 article about Daredevil, he's got such a rich history and such a great background story, and it was told beautifully, that I think we're going to have a great, more stories coming up, and people introduced to more Marvel characters, and maybe even put that into people reading the comics. I think it's wonderful. I think what's happening about this is cool. It's all wrapped up in rumors right now. So, I mean, we shouldn't get too excited. I mean, we're going off someone who said something off the cuff that shouldn't probably have said what they said to the person that they said it to. So we have to take it with the grain of salt that it is, but I think this is good news, and I think it's just time for my segment where I say, well, DC should be doing something.
Rumors aside though, like all the speculation, rumors aside, I think it's awesome that Netflix is going to do a Ghost Rider series with Aaron Paul.
You know what else was off the cuff comic kind of, hey, let's have fun kind of thing? When Nick Fury showed up at the end of Iron Man, that was completely unplanned and not supposed to turn into a freaking Avengers movie. So it's gonna happen. I feel it in my bones.
I hate the bones. I hate the bones.
Oh God.
I love that KFC commercial. I know it has no bearing to anything, but
it's a great commercial. I'm just trying to regain my composure. That was excellent. That was good. It was good. Well placed. Well placed.
So,
do you think that during, like, when Netflix has to go to ads during the Aaron Paul Ghost Rider series, that they'll have the KFC commercial in there?
I believe they will, and I think it'll be I think instead of Marvel's Ghost Rider, it'll say Marvel's Ghost Rider powered by that kind of nerd, starring Aaron Paul thanks Josh Burns. I think that's what it's going to say. It's a long-winded title, but when you highlight it in IMDb, I think it's going to be great.
You heard it here first.
Josh Burns
folks.
as Mephisto. There you go.
There you go.
I think of how many signatures it takes to get that up. You have to influence Disney to say, all right, fine, Aaron Paul, okay, great. Oh my God, can Bryan Cranston please make a cameo? Who could Bryan Cranston be?
Dude, at this point, it's in production. There's little you can do to stop it.
It's in production in your head.
This went from petition to titled to in production.
It's already done, and it's gonna come out like in 3 months.
You didn't get the leaked trailer? It already leaked. I'm surprised you haven't watched it yet.
I've assumed the close. It's happening.
Wait, hold on.
I literally just binge watched the Ghost Rider series, and it was fantastic. It blew my mind.
Starring Aaron Paul?
It starred Aaron Paul, and it was amazing. Bryan Cranston showed up as Mephisto, and it was weird.
Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Okay, you've been warned. It starts where Breaking Bad ends, when Jesse's driving away, and then he catches on fire and turns into a skull.
He becomes the Ghost Rider.
He becomes the Ghost Rider that way. Spoiler over. If you're listening, spoiler over.
There's nothing spoilerish about that.
Well, all right, listen, some people don't know the fate of Jesse Pinkman, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody. I'm so nervous about spoiling things for people that I'm very nervous about anything I say about TV. Like, I was at work and someone's like, hey, did you watch Game of Thrones? I was like, yeah. And then someone next was like, I didn't watch it yet. Please be quiet.
That was me.
I know. I was trying not to name you and make you look like an idiot who hadn't been watching Game of Thrones.
You need to go to...
It was so good.
You need to go to Max Landis' YouTube page and check out the Jon Snow is above the rim video. It's outstanding. Brian, have you watched Game of Thrones?
I've watched most of it. I'm not completely caught up yet.
Okay, the battle. You saw the battle?
Oh my God, it was so good.
Okay, so the I hate to do it, but I gotta the the White Walker captain guy like swings his spear at Jon Snow, who grabs the Valyrian steel sword, grabs Longclaw, and he defends, and it doesn't break the sword, and they're both like, "What?"
Yeah, they're like, what?
Right? So at that point, it fades to black. Out comes a Nike symbol. Just do it, and that's on Max Landis' YouTube page right now. I cracked up. It was awesome.
I will put that link in the show notes so someone can. And by the way, Max Landis' YouTube channel is phenomenal.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
it's called Up to My Knees. Is the username.
It's going to be very good. So okay, yeah, and I will say this. Hold on, Laura. We will talk about Game of Thrones soon. I promise. Brian needs to catch up so we can have an intelligent
You
conversation.
guys got me all hooked on the Entourage.
And
I'm
we'll-
trying to tear through that right now. I didn't get caught up on Game of Thrones.
Can we take a quick moment to talk about some of our streaming endeavors before we move on to our next topic?
We might as well.
Because I need to get some therapy out, and because I just finished The Sopranos, and
God.
I have been mocking the.
Yay!
Right. Okay. First off, all right. So I gotta say something.
Who told you to watch Sopranos?
You did.
Yes, I did.
Did you see the new Sopranos spinoff starring Aaron Paul?
It did. It starred Aaron Paul
Yeah, Aaron-
as Ghost Rider.
Yeah, right.
It's really weird.
He's running the New Jersey Mafia. Where's my collections?
Oh, God.
I need to light a cigarette. Hold on. All right. Anyway,
For those of you playing the home show, CJ just pantomimes lighting a cigarette on his head. Just FYI.
thanks,
'Cause his
Brian.
head's on fire.
Appreciate the color commentary.
En Fuego.
El Fuego.
Okay, hold on. So Sopranos. The whole reason I didn't want to watch it was because of the ending that everyone had talked about. No one spoiled it. They just said that it. So I wanted to stay away from the series at this, but
I see what you did there, you clever bastard.
So I'm watching it. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I mean, Josh, I devoured that series.
Yeah, you
right?
did. You did. You
I'm-
mowed through it.
Listen, I don't know what episode we talked about it, but I'm done right now. Okay, by episode, we didn't even get to 10 episodes. I'm already done. It's so good, but that ending. First off, I can't hear Journey the right way. I can't hear
No,
Journey anymore.
You can't ever listen to Steve Perry the same ever again.
I was on hold and the song was playing. I was like, oh, son of a bitch. It just hurt because now
I have all the feels about Journey.
I
now.
do have all the feels about it. I think my wife has one feeling about the ending. I have another that's contrary to popular belief. I don't know if it's because I'm hurt and I just want to feel better about myself. If it's a little hipster gene in me that's trying to come out, or I just can't accept the reality of it. But first off, what an amazing show! It ends. Even though I'm not happy about it, it's a good ending, and the show is just so damn good. So
from every angle, from every character, from
everyone's perspective is shown and shared, and you think it's another show that I never tried to figure out. There's just so many good things. There's some characters I hate Janice, by the way, like with all my heart and soul.
Everybody hates Jan. Everybody
hate
hates
her.
Jan. When you go back, 2-3 years from now and you watch it again, you're gonna catch stuff.
Am I still
in
gonna
the
hate her?
You're definitely gonna hate
Okay,
her,
good.
probably more. But you're gonna catch stuff in the first few seasons that you will laugh about harder because of what happens in the last few seasons.
No, okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
that's just really excellent. I can't tell you how much that show shaped my watching preferences of series. It's Sopranos is the reason that I binge watch everything, because what would happen before each new season of The Sopranos would release, me and my two buddies, Dave and Justin, would binge watch every season prior. So before season 2, we'd rewatch all season 1 and so on and so forth. And so I've seen The Sopranos 8 times.
Jesus.
8 times straight all the way through.
Have you watched The Sopranos more times than you've watched The West Wing, start to finish and end?
Yes, only because season 6 was split into 2 seasons,
Which I don't understand.
which meant that before season 6B started, I had to watch 1 through 6A again. So I've seen it
That's-
8 times, but in all fairness, The West Wing is 123 hours.
It is. It's pretty long.
And it's not. The Sopranos is not.
Right.
So I mean, The West Wing is a true endeavor.
I'll say this: watching The Sopranos, and I binge watched like a crazy person. I kind of wish I would have seen it week to week. I think you need time in between some of these episodes to ruminate on what's happening and to kind of guess what's happening. I think it's a good way to watch it. So listen, please, God, I can't believe now I am perpetuating this like the Doctor Who thing. Is the pay it forward? Thanks, Josh. Please watch The Sopranos if you haven't watched it. It actually really is worth all your time. Brian, you're binge watching another HBO series right now. I think you're doing The Entourage.
Yes, I'm in the middle of
You're-
Entourage.
You're welcome.
What
Yes.
season are you on?
I'm halfway through season 3 right now, and I started
Victory!
I started 2 days ago. So, yes,
Yes.
I'm tearing through it. I'm hoping to get through the entire series before Tuesday.
That's a show that you can binge watch and not think in between. That
No,
show doesn't
it-
require your thinking.
It's so easy and seamless. Like, I will not realize it's 1 o'clock in the morning and be like, shit, I gotta get to work in the morning, so I have to stop now.
do you now appreciate all my turtle jokes I make against
I
the
do
Josh?
appreciate the turtle jokes. I appreciate the victory chant that I didn't understand before.
Are you insulted that I called you Johnny Drama?
I am
last week?
extremely insulted that I
You
called you
should
Johnny
be.
Drama.
You should be insulted.
So for those playing the home game, I got about 10 minutes into episode 2 when I go, I am not Johnny Drama. and I
in
immediately
text,
just
in text,
texted
in all
everybody.
caps.
It's so funny. I put ha 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 ha. Press send. Waited a minute and then press ha 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 again. It was so funny. I lost my shit twice.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, whatever you say,
No
E.
way.
You're
yeah,
E,
I'm
if
E.
anybody.
I'm definitely
Yeah,
E if we're
E.
gonna talk about that.
Ah.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's entertaining. It's funny. Freaking Jeremy Piven. Every time he's on screen, I just lose
He's
it.
brilliant.
He's brilliant
in
that show.
his. He is super demonstrative in his physical actions. He's brilliant.
So, Josh, what are you binge watching? Are you binge watching anything right now?
I am. I'm wrapping up. I'm at Parks and Rec season.
God, great
6,
show.
Like end of season 6. So I have to find some way to watch season 7
Hulu.
because it's not on Netflix
It's
yet.
on Hulu if you have it.
Okay, I'm definitely. Yeah, I do have Hulu, so I will absolutely watch it. But
I know
I
you had a
have a-
hard time getting into this show.
so I have an aversion to Tina Fey, and she's not involved in the show, but because she was alongside Amy Poehler on Weekend Update for so long, I have an aversion to Amy Poehler because of the Tina Fey connection. I just don't like anything Tina Fey does. I don't think it's funny, and I don't think Amy Poehler's terribly funny either. But Nick Offerman, Rob Lowe,
Makes the show.
Chris Pratt, the three of them, I can't. And I'll be honest, for the first 2 seasons, I was just pushing through. I really didn't laugh at much, but once I got into season 3, I'm giggling like an idiot watching this show, and I find myself speaking more and more like Ron Swanson. I'm sorry, I don't think you. I'm worried that
God.
you didn't hear me.
Please do the yes, go back and do the whole
I
thing.
said, give me all the bacon and eggs that you have. And I'm worried that you heard, give me a lot of bacon and eggs. Let me repeat, give me all of the bacon and eggs that you have. And I just, this
Yes,
guy,
you.
he's so fundamentally simple and brilliant and it's full of principles and he's just a stand-up guy.
Have you heard Nick Offerman's little giggle yet? Has that?
Yes, a
That's-
million times.
That, by the way, is his real, honest to God laugh.
When I know I've seen it. I've seen his special American Ham, and that is his laugh. It's hilarious. He's just brilliant. And the thing is that he's also just many of those characters are very emotionally demonstrative. They do a good job with the nonverbal, the eyes, and especially Aziz Ansari does a good job with the nonverbal communication.
I
like
think.
a lot.
Oh no, Brian, save me. Her name.
Which one? Aubrey Plaza?
Yeah,
Aubrey
Aubrey Plaza.
Plaza.
She's got the best nonverbals.
Love her.
She
yeah,
has the Jim
I-
Halpert looks. If you were to compare this to The Office.
I thoroughly disdain that character.
I disagree. I think you're gonna
I
like
don't know
her.
how you can.
No,
Hold on.
she's-
The reason you can is you're probably too similar to her.
Oh.
No, I'm nothing like her.
Can I just say this? When I got done watching that show, I literally started saying literally all the time.
Right.
Right.
Freaking Rob Lowe.
gets you. That's literally the best thing I've ever tasted. And you're like, but it's a flaxseed blueberry muffin. What do you? Right. But no, Aubrey Plaza, I get the value. You know, she's probably not like that in real life, but the character, man, just negative and then shock value galore. She's everything that I didn't like with the goth people in high school. I hated it.
All right.
So, and that's her character.
I'll
I
give
just
you
can't
that.
stand it.
No, I
And
can see that.
but Chris Pratt fixes
Oh,
that for
God,
me.
he's so
Right, his involvement with her fixes that character for me.
good. Did you get to
but-
the point? Yeah, you did. You got to the point where he had to go on hiatus for
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
and he explains the weight loss.
Yes,
I
yeah,
just quit drinking beer.
Yeah, I just stopped drinking beer. I lost 50 pounds in a month.
How much
beer were you
drinking?
drinking? Probably too much. But that's
so good.
what's it? Ben Scott? Is that his
Adam
name?
Scott.
Adam Scott,
Who plays
Dude,
Ben?
Yeah, he plays Ben. That guy. When you talk about the nonverbals, he's the best one. He gives you this sort of this deadpan look, like I don't get it. Oh, it's so good. I'm eternally grateful.
It's
that
just a
I don't
tiny
remember who
horse. I don't
suggested
get it.
It's fantastic, and because I like that, my brother-in-law Aaron is demanding that I watch 30 Rock.
That's gonna be rough for you.
It's gonna be rough.
Tracy Morgan.
Because
After
of
like
Tina
season
Fey. Actually,
3.
Tracy Morgan, I like,
and you'll like
So-
Alec Baldwin in that show.
Alec
and Alec
Baldwin's
Baldwin I love.
that's the reason I'm gonna
I
watch that
think
show.
that's
next.
I think,
Thank
and I've
you,
only
Steve.
seen like the first 4 seasons, but I think that supporting cast is going to save the fact that you don't like Tina Fey.
So we're also interested then, because we had another topic we're still going to get to, but we're interested to hear what you guys are binge watching and what we should binge watch next. If you think there's a show that you have to watch, do it. I know we recommended to our friend Andre that he watched the show Chuck, which Josh should be on your nerdy list before you die and go to streaming
Don't you
heaven.
dare say no. You're
Don't
going to watch
Don't
it.
make an
You're gonna
opinion
watch
yet.
it.
You sit back. No, get away from that microphone. Get away from the mic. There you go. Thank you. All right, so I want to move on to the next topic that we had here. I was listening to another show, which I won't mention because I don't have nice things to say about it, and I don't. And they were talking a little bit about online shopping, and it got me thinking. And I asked Josh for his help with this. Josh, you're a huge online shopper, right?
Yeah, for several reasons. I think the main reason is if I can avoid human contact, I will.
Right.
Only
okay.
because my career, my occupation requires the maximum amount of human contact. So when I'm shopping, it's about avoiding human contact. And for Laura, because I travel usually 2 to 3 nights a week, it's about what's simple, what gets the kids home in a reasonable amount of time and fed with healthy food and whatnot. So, reasons are twofold, 2 different things, but efficiency, convenience, avoiding human contact being the chief reason.
So we were in the culture for so long working retail that we have such a stigma against online shopping for everything.
Yeah.
It was literally beaten into us that how great it is to see a person, to talk to somebody about products and experiences and blah 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 blah. That I don't do a whole lot of online shopping, and what I'm looking around and what I'm seeing is this: my wife and I, we live less than a mile from a Giant, a Redner's, a Walmart, and a Walgreens. So it's literally anytime we need anything, it's open and we can go get it.
Sure.
The problem is with a 2-year-old, it's getting her in and out of the car. It's a sign if one person stays here and one person goes, then hey, you forgot to buy this, or I like this brand better. And then you look at the prices of some of these stores that are open late that are next to us that I don't want to, I want to get toilet paper real quick in the middle of the night because I forgot that we were out of toilet paper. And I don't know if I'm spending too much money by doing all this, but I'm so tired of this, and it's 2015. There's got to be an automated way to do this. There's got to be a way that I can just have it delivered to my door.
I think there's a few things and a couple different ways to look at it. And the 3 of us all come from heavy retail backgrounds. So, from what you're saying, CJ, it's not that we were conditioned to go shopping in stores. We were conditioned to provide a level of service that would prompt customers to want to interact with someone to get expertise. And I think that for a lot of people, that's still the norm. However, I think for nerds like us who do the research on our own, who know what we need, know what we want, I think that going to retail stores is probably a thing of the past. And I know, Brian, you have an aversion to...
I don't have an aversion. I mean...
I think you said pretty clearly last podcast that you don't trust your credit card.
I don't. I don't.
Brian's
And
an 80-year-old
and what I
man.
did was I immediately registered you with AARP.
I don't like throwing my information out there too often. I feel you there. I mean, I could definitely see the idea of the service level and everything. I actually just went to a local retailer to get an iPad for my friend, and when
Wait, you
I
bought
went
your
to
friend an iPad?
I didn't buy it.
I'm
She
your
was
fr-
buying it. She
Oh, okay.
needed
I was
my
like, I'm your
help
friend.
in
I don't have
buying
an
it.
extra iPad.
She needed my help in buying it. And it was like that scene in Parks and Rec where Ron Swanson's like walking through the Home Depot and the guy's like, "Hey, can I help you with something?" And you go,
I know more than you.
more than you." So I mean, I feel like, hey, I could have just ordered this online and had it shipped, but it's also the immediacy thing that I like. I like being able to go to a store. I like being able to grab it. I like being able to have it in my hand and open it up. And
Brian, does your friend have an iPhone?
yes, she does.
I have to ask then, because you know what you know and you are who you are, why didn't you say to your friend, you know what, instead of going to this retail establishment where we're going to see people who know less than we do, why don't we go around the corner to a bar, enjoy the pub fries and the beer, and you open your iPhone, I Apple Store app, and we order it. And when we've had a beer or two, we walk right into the Apple Store that's half a mile away, and we just pick it up and leave. Like, why didn't you do that?
There were financial reasons why she wanted to maybe finance this at a certain retail establishment.
Understood. Financing. Okay. So then, follow-up question. This retail establishment that you went to, I'm assuming, has a pretty sophisticated .com setup.
Yes, it does.
And on that .com setup, and a mobile app, the same financing terms apply. Is that correct?
I'm pretty sure, yes. I don't have the pleasure of having the credit card.
Does she already possess the credit card for that establishment?
She did not have it with her at the time.
So she... Oh, but she has
it,
right?
one, yes.
Okay, so she could have made the purchase online on the mobile app very simply, and instead of interacting with people who know less than you and she do, could have just walked up to the customer service desk and said, "Give me my things," and they would have given her her thing.
I also believe if I had the right establishment, you could use the Touch ID to pay.
Yeah, and you could do that as well. But I'm just saying, why wasn't
I just
that
hear a
part
lot
of
of
the
judging. There's a lot of judging going on right now.
No. This is discovery. I'm seeking to discover why you chose the less convenient route.
Honestly, it wasn't totally my choice. What happened was she had decided, I want an iPad. Brian, would you like to help me get an iPad? I was thinking about getting the iPad Air, and over breakfast, I convinced her not just to not get an iPad Air, but to get an iPad Air 2, and not the 16 gig, but the 64 gig. So
what I'm hearing is on Monday night, you guys talked about getting an iPad. She got an iPad, and then you decided at breakfast the next morning that you two should go.
No, it was all
an iPad Air.
It was all in a side of an hour and a half meal.
I'm sorry. It's a strictly platonic relationship.
I'm just playing out a scenario in my head. That's all I'm doing, Brian.
Brian is
You're playing out the wrong scenario.
So hold on. So Josh,
ladies, Brian is available to help you get iPads, whether it's over breakfast or dinner.
It seems like every podcast we just plug how I'm single now. That's just what we do.
I think that's the next petition besides Aaron Paul for. By the way, that's now on DVD. In case you didn't know, it's already.
And
on
surprisingly,
DVD. Oh my gosh! I just picked it up. The special features are great.
If you'd like to get breakfast and then dinner, Brian will use his time turner, and you can go back to yesterday.
Wow. Oh, there's the Harry Potter reference.
Thank you for the Harry Potter reference.
On purpose.
So, Josh, you had boiled down why online shopping should substitute for just moments like this into a pretty simple, kind of statement that you gave me earlier.
Yeah, I think that the point is that everyone is looking to save time, save money, streamline their day, operate more efficiently, spend more time with friends and family and less time on, frankly, on bullshit. And online shopping, application based shopping makes that a ton easier. And look, that kind of nerd, we're talking about the things we buy online. We're going to talk about how it saves you time and money and why you should do the same. We're going to talk about the tech that you already own makes the transition painless and how stores are catering more towards customers who click versus customers that walk in.
So
And the
go
go
ahead. I'm
ahead.
sorry. No. Please, you first.
I think the big thing for me is I've been in retail. Well, prior to this past year, I had been in retail for about 16 years, and all of it in big box. And I've seen this transition to online, and I thought at first this is a joke, but the reason, here's the key: the reason it was a joke is because big box retailers didn't give it much attention. So when you walked in, it was super inconvenient. But what we've seen in the past 2 years is that customers who buy online and pick up in store are treated with more urgency than customers who walk in and want to buy a product. My case in point is if you decide to buy a computer or buy a tablet or buy a mobile phone from a large box retailer, what you'll do is schedule a pickup time. When you do that and you walk into that store to pick up your phone, there is to be someone waiting for you. When you go in there to pick up your tablet, your PC, there is to be someone waiting to help you. And if they're not, you raise hell, and they're going to treat you like an absolute VIP because they need your business, because it's the difference between you going there and you going to Amazon or Apple or someplace else.
And the thing that I kind of draw an analogy to it is when you look at fast food industry, their drive-through customers, they have times. You have a time for your drive-through, you have to hit it. And if you ever see a busy drive-through and you go inside to try to go get something taken care of, you're screwed because they're focusing on their drive-in. They're trying to get it out of there. They don't want to look like there's a line wrapped around the building. So I'm seeing that culture too, Josh, where people who are buying online are treated as get in the express lane. Please come here right now and help it. And then if you're willing to come and talk to somebody who may know less than you, but even may have an idea about something, come and speak to them. So I thought this is an interesting kind of thing. And I mean, Josh just laid that out pretty quick with Brian, how he just could have spent more time with his friends just by doing that very simple stuff.
Wasted precious minutes.
Even when else, well, that stuff adds up real quick. I mean, seriously, real quick. I mean, if you look at this too, when it comes to like product launches, so let's do this specifically. When Apple launches an iPhone, or when they launched the Watch app, the app was a lot easier to kind of deal with, and it's a lot easier to do it all online than having to go to a store. If you've been to an Apple store sometimes and you see the lines that are around there, it's freaking nuts.
It's insane.
It's insane. But if it's hi, I'm here to pick it up or send it to my house.
It doesn't matter where you go. When a new phone launches, there's going to be a line. If you are in the select few who choose to do the upgrade online and go pick up in store, there will be someone waiting for you. There will always be someone waiting for you. And if there isn't, you should know that retailer values their online business so much that they will make adjustments to cater to you.
Yeah. So it comes down to this. I'm still coming back to the part where I'm not a big online shopper. I have $25 right now and an Amazon gift card that I've had for a week, and I haven't spent it on anything. And I want to. I want to buy an iPhone dock, or I want to buy a Google Cardboard. And I'm just sitting here not doing it. And it's not even my money. I won it. It was free $25. And I'm still sitting there with $25 on Amazon going, I'm overwhelmed by so much shit that's under $25 for Amazon. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. So, Josh, since you've been an expert in this online shopping area, if I have $25, what am I doing?
Well, I survey the things I want versus the things I need, and then I choose to buy the thing I want. So if I have $25, honestly, right now, if I have $25, I go to the Amazon search bar, I type in Cole Haan, and I have a $25 discount off an already discounted pair of shoes. And my wife gets to complain a little bit more about how I have 1,000 pairs of shoes. But I think it's important to explore why you want to shop online, what you can get online, and then online shopping versus app-based shopping, which are two very different things. But you have a gift card, you want to spend it, survey the things you need versus the things you want, and then go spend it on the things you want versus the things you need. But online shopping encompasses so much of what let me say this.
Go ahead.
Every week Laura goes to the Wise, the local Wise online, whatever, does all of the grocery shopping online. She presses a button, she pays, and she schedules a 30-minute window. She drives to the store, she presses a button on a call box, they ask her name, she says Burns, someone brings the cart out, she pops the trunk.
What?
They load all the groceries in the trunk. She signs a thing and drives away. Okay? And I'm talking about really anything you can get. I mean, anything. Nothing's off limits. Anything you can get at a grocery store. Eggs, meat, produce, whatever you want. She shops online. She drives and she gets the same prices that are in their ad. So it's the lowest possible price. She can use coupons, okay? And this saves her from spending an hour plus in a store with two children.
I was going to say, with a kid, that's
Dude,
not an easy endeavor.
She drives to the store and then she goes and picks up the kids and then they all get to come home and put the groceries away together. And there's no freak out. There's no rigmarole, right? So, and then Friday or Saturday, I take the kids to the farmer's market and I get the stuff that we need to cook meals. She gets all the staples at the grocery store and we never have to set foot in there. Now, I will say this. Paper products, depending on your zip code, Amazon can be really great, right? But if Amazon Grocery or Amazon whatever it's called.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
If that doesn't service your zip code, really your best bet for most of your paper products is going to be Sam's Club or Costco or BJ's, a warehouse, a wholesale club, because although you're paying $55 for the membership, you are saving several dollars and getting more per unit than you could ever get elsewhere. So that is my one plug for still going to a brick and mortar is Costco, Sam's, BJ's.
Do they have an online pickup system like the
absolutely
Weiss?
Absolutely.
So this is the reason I'm thinking of this too is I'm dealing with the shopping with a 2-year-old and making those stupid. I already said this. Making those stupid quick trips. Hearing what you just told me, that's pretty awesome. That just saves a lot of grief and aggravation.
Anybody with kids, you should look in your local area and find out what grocery stores allow for pickup. Because imagine this. Even if you had to drive 10 miles out of your way, would that 10 miles, which for most people, averaging 25 miles per gallon, would that 20 miles round trip, that $2.70 in gas be worth saving an hour and a half of your time?
Hell yeah.
And an hour and a half extra of your kids at daycare at 10 plus, maybe more than that, dollars per hour? I think what we need to do as a culture is really get into the just shift our paradigm to consider what we make per hour and how our choices vis-a-vis shopping correlate into money wasted. When shopping online, shopping via mobile app, shopping via online pickup could translate into dollars saved, not only in wages or daycare or whatever, but then also in the things that you can't measure in dollars. The hour that I get or that my wife gets when we pick up the groceries versus shopping, the hour that we get with each other.
Yeah.
You can't measure that.
I was going to say, because there's so many times I just get home from work, I'm tired, and my daughter gives me a huge hug when I come in the door. I say hi to my wife. She says hi. I have to go get cat litter. I'll be back.
Yep.
And then 30 minutes later, sorry, there was a line at Walmart. And I'm back, and I'm like, great. Well, it's close to bedtime, so I had time with my daughter, and now We're gonna go put her to sleep, and then we have to be kind of quiet because we live in an apartment while she's sleeping. We don't get to talk a whole lot.
So imagine this.
Or I'm
Imagine
just
you
imagining
take
Ben's. I'm imagining Brian's roommate Ben, who just probably sound like this is a perfect thing for him because he's a little lethargic, and it'd be fun to
so
see him shop.
you
Online.
got Brian and Ben who
Wait,
live
why did
in
my
a
living situation get brought into this?
no. Brian and Ben live in a ladies a 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom house with a pool and a hot tub.
And
Right?
by the way, the cat to male ratio is very low.
It is very low. There's
Extremely low.
None of them are
there's-
mine. Neither of the cats are
there's
mine.
barely 2 cats per human.
You
in this
barely
house.
smell the pee. You barely smell
It's
the pee.
hardly there. But so imagine these 2 bachelors living in this place that have a finite amount of time to spend on errands and shopping with, having also to entertain their lady friend. So you have what you have is
Holy crap, hold on. Brian, by the way, is losing it. Losing it.
So I have to buy groceries, right, for an entourage style party. And also I have to buy kitty litter for an entourage style amount of cats.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I'll be honest, I'm not going to add the kitty litter to the Weiss order because it's going to be too expensive, right? But they live close to a Sam's Club where they could buy online, pick up in the club, walk in, pick it up.
They walk into the club
out.
all the time, too.
Yeah, always up in the club.
All the time, ladies.
What I hear is every time Brian walks in there, everybody's hands go up and then they stay there.
Up in the club.
Right? So, but that's kind of my point is whether you're shopping at a giant online retailer like Amazon and you're buying things that, by the way, if you don't have a Prime membership, it's like $100. Look, it's like $100 and you will save just that amount in shipping over the course of the year and it'll get to you faster. So anything you need, you can do online, whether it's with Amazon, online pickup with large retailers, like all of them, in a
At
warehouse.
least all of them.
Seriously, all of them. In a warehouse environment like Sam's Club or Costco, you don't have to waste your time like a peasant walking from aisle to aisle. Okay, you don't. You take back your time. Take back your time, right? Give it to your family and friends who deserve it. Start buying online, picking up in store, start shopping via the app. Take your time back and try it. And listen, if you need help, hit me up. Josh at thatkindofnerd.com. I'll be happy to help you.
And actually something so I've been worried about it. And first off, I couldn't have said any of that better. That's phenomenal. What I want to do is I want to do that for a month. I want to do an online experience for, just like you said, with the grocery shopping right there. There's a Weiss around me. There's Giant, like I said.
Dude, text Laura. She'll clue you in.
Yeah, no, I want to try this for a month, and then I want to write about it. I want to show this experience, see if it's worth it, see if it's saving me money, see what kind of time I'm getting with my family, and make it worth. So yeah, thank you, Josh. Seriously, that was amazing.
And
Brian,
thank
have you recovered?
Josh, thank you for such an accurate description of my lifestyle.
Oh, you're very welcome. I look if just a week in your palace would be a vacation for me.
Okay.
So once Brian collects his shit again.
I don't know where it is.
Right.
I lost it.
Are you okay? All right, so I want to do a little recap of this because we kind of hit the end of the show here. So first off, the Video Games Hall of Fame. I think it's so interesting that we have this. Brian, I think you're right about this. This is kind of like the phase 1 launch. So what I'm curious about is, oh God, I can't believe I'm going to say this phrase again. What would be the phase 2 of the Video Game Hall of Fame?
Madden NFL.
Zelda. Zelda's got to be on there.
Zelda Ocarina of Time, I think, over original Zelda. I think that game is so much, or even GoldenEye.
You shut your mouth.
GoldenEye.
Ocarina of Time over anything else. That's the #1 game of all time. I said it.
I'll tell you
I said it.
about GoldenEye. GoldenEye, the multiplayer revolutionized first-person shooter multiplayer forever.
Yeah.
So that's a true story.
And that
I'm
was an
curious to
accident.
hear. That's right. It was. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. If you could put let's make 5 video games that you can put into the Video Game Hall of Fame. Let us know in the comments. Hit us up on thatkindofnerd.com or on Twitter at thatkindofnerd. Let us know what's going on. Marvel rolling out their plan to overtake Netflix and the thing that we're pretty damn excited about. Aaron Paul for Ghost Rider. I'm serious, Josh. If we can,
it's 2016, right? It's coming out in 2016.
I just imagine like the Obama Hope posters, but with Aaron Paul's face, and like it's half Ghost Rider, half Aaron Paul.
That's half Ghost Rider, half Aaron Paul, and half my face.
Yeah,
right?
of course. You're like in the background
because it's a big deal. So 3 halves is good.
That's how math works. After you just did that beautiful math. But I think that's amazing. We want to hear what else you're adding for your streaming. What is in your streaming catalog? What's in your Netflix queue? What do we need to watch? What show do you think we need to talk about that you love over and over again? Please share it with us. And then Josh, I think I'm going to do it. I got to convince my wife, so I'm going to hit up Laura and get a plan. And I'm going to post the plan once it's up of online shopping. And then in general, too, just like you said, spending more time with your family and friends and less on bullshit and starting to save and operate more effectively. So couldn't have said it better myself. Gentlemen, any thoughts that you want to add to our final thoughts here? Please don't all jump in at once. Please.
I think you summed it up beautifully.
I'm accepting any challengers for Monopoly, and you will all go down in flames.
I want to reiterate this thing too. Please, we're interested in having your thoughts, your opinions, and your voice on the That Kind of Nerd website. And by voice, I mean your written form. Maybe you'll be a guest host on the podcast. Who knows? Go to thatkindofnerd.com and check out the About Us section. Let us know if you want to write for our website. I think we'd be really open into having some more people here on the website. So thank you very much for listening to the show. We will see you guys next week for episode 10.
Woo!
Woo! I can't believe we've done well. Okay. So there is a lost episode out there. There's 2 lost episodes.
2 lost episodes.
One of them is truly lost. The other one is kind of there, but Josh is awkward in it. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll cut it together. But next week is episode 10. Thank you so much for anyone who's listened to our show and got us to this point. So, guys, thank you so much for your time. You guys have a good night.
Well, that is our show. Thank you so much for listening to That Kind of Nerd podcast. As always, we want to hear your opinions and hear what you have to say about some of the craziness that might have happened or just some of your opinions about what we're talking about here. So we have a multitude of ways for you guys to reach us. Obviously, you can comment on our site at thatkindofnerd.com. Hit us up on Twitter at thatkindofnerd, or you can always give us a call and kind of give us your direct feedback. Our phone number would be 484-373-4119. We'd love to hear your opinion. Thanks so much. Fine, CJ, you're right. You're right.
Great perspective, CJ. Thanks.
Relish the moment, CJ. You're right.